With the 11th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Makai Becton, tackle, Louisville.
So the run on receivers is going to have to wait, but Makai Becton, ladies and gentlemen, human beings that large should not run as fast as Makai Becton did. At the Combine, 364 pounds, ran the 40 in 5.1. According to ESPN Stats and Information, that's the heaviest player ever to run a sub-5 140. And if you like people just abusing other humans, the Makai Becton tape is for you. Why is he so big? Well, his mother is a caterer who specializes in soul food. And as you can see, Makai specialized in what his mom specialized in. In fact, he can do a little bit of everything. He has incredible feet. He was an amazing high school basketball player. And then we talked about the Combine as you see him moving in the pivot. But back to the Combine. You've got to see him run. It is absolutely incredible. Again, 6'7", 364 pounds, and he crossed the line at 5'1". Lewis, this is a guy who came to Louisville a little out of shape, but they worked on him, and then he's been working on people ever since.
With the New York Jets pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Jets select Denzel Mims, wide receiver, Baylor.
The Baylor Bear is finally off the board. Denzel Mims is going to be the new target for Sam Darnold to throw to. Remember, they lost Robbie Anderson, their big play wide receiver, in free agency. Again, this is a guy who is fast. That 4.3, 840 was third most among wide receivers. Set all kinds of records at Baylor. Michael Irvin, this is a guy who can make every catch imaginable.
Yes, he can, Trey, and you're right. You're absolutely right. I talked to Robbie Anderson. He did not want to leave New York, but he's very happy to be in Carolina with Bridgewater. But they need to replace that speed, that production that he gave him. I know they signed my old roommate's son, Rashard Perriman, but this is added speed, added depth for them in the wide receiver position. Denzel Mims, a 4.38 40. This kid can absolutely run. I got a chance to watch him a lot. He's right up the street from me here in Baylor. He's going to be a great pickup for the Jets.
20 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Ashton Davis, defensive back, California.
Okay, this is a fascinating pick because Ashton Davis has been referred to by Peter Kingham and other people as the mystery man in this draft.
With the 79th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Jabari Zuniga, defensive end, Florida.
All right, Booger, this is an interesting pick because he came back for his senior year to boost his stock, and it didn't go as planned. He suffered that high ankle sprain and played just in 6 games. Meanwhile, we have running back LaMichael Pirine off the board. And yes, he is a cousin of former Oklahoma and current Dolphins running back Samaje Pirine. Lewis, what do we think about the pick the Jets just made?
This is a powerful runner at 5'10", 216 pounds, ran 4.62 at the Combine. He averaged 5.1 yards per carry, and he's a guy who has real good vision, has good lateral quickness, and he's a guy who can really accelerate the top end speed very quickly. He had 41 receptions out of the backfield. He's a much different style than Le'Veon Bell. He's more of a bruiser. He's more of a guy who, when he sees the hole, he's going to hit it. He has long speed. He has the ability to rip off plus 20, plus 30, plus 40-yard runs. He is a good combination of power and speed, and again, makes a very formidable 1-2 punch with Le'Veon Bell, considering the fact that he can run it and catch it out of the backfield.
The Jets averaged under 8 points a game in the 3 games that Sam Darnold missed last season. You might imagine they lost them all. James Morgan grew up in Green Bay, huge Packer fan. He wore the number 4 in youth football for one reason only. If you grew up in Green Bay, that's because Brett Favre was right there. And Morgan is the first quarterback from the Green Bay area to be drafted since the Packers selected former Wisconsin quarterback Bud Keys in the 10th round of the 1988 draft. Now, James Morgan decided to transfer from Bowling Green after the 2017 season after losing his starting job due to coaching changes. And he wrote a letter to FIU's quarterback, Bryn Renner, outlining his stats and his interest in the program. And it worked. He spent 2 seasons at FIU and said that Coach Renner made a huge impact on his life. In fact, Renner went on to actually sign that letter for James Morgan. Daniel Jeremiah, his first interview for the NFL was at the Senior Bowl, and he put on a show.
Yeah, he was excellent in the All-Star game setting, Trey. And this is somebody, when I watched him on tape, I actually wrote down on the paper Jacoby Brissett. That's who he reminded me of when Jacoby Brissett was coming out of college. Began his career at Bowling Green before transferring to FIU, where things really started to get going for him. He's a pure pocket passer. You see that big knee brace on his left knee. Coming off of a knee injury, didn't really transfer his weight all that much, but could still generate plenty of velocity. He's got good poise, he's got awareness, and he showed up at the East-West Shrine game down there and was clearly the best quarterback in attendance. And on the coaching staff that week was Blake Williams, who's Greg Williams' son, who's on that Jets coaching staff. So they clearly had some knowledge of how he impressed that group that week.
We take a look now at Cameron Clark, the offensive tackle out of Charlotte, who goes to the Jets.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's going to like him, Trey. Cameron Clark, an experienced left tackle. He was named the team's offensive MVP in 2017. Long arm, 6'4.5", 308-pounder. When you look at him, impressed with his performance against Clemson. Against the Clemson Tigers, he did a really good job. You don't want to see him against lesser opposition. How does he do against really good teams like Clemson, a great team like Clemson? And he looked like he belonged out there and could transform his what you saw on tape, even against the teams you knew he would handle and the players you knew he could dominate, into a guy who could transition into the NFL. Cameron Clark drives defenders off defensive end off the ball with regularity. You could maybe kick him inside the guard, maybe a right tackle, not a left tackle in the NFL, but I think he can compete for a starting job at a variety of positions on that New York Jets offensive line.
Well, you know he's durable. He played in a school record 49 games at Charlotte, was a 3-year starter and a 2-time captain. As you look at what the Jets are doing, they get Makai Becton. Now they get Cameron Clark, another protector for Sam Darnold. He had some injury issues that took him out of the combine, so he had to sort of work his way through this here.
Yeah, he ended up missing 8 games in 2019 due to a broken leg, but you can see here the athleticism. Watch him as a returner. But as a corner, you're talking about somebody that's 6'1 and a quarter, 202 pounds with good length. So you've got the ability to get up and press. As you see right here, that's what he does best. He gets you with that one-hand stab and press. He can find and play the football when he has those opportunities. I thought he was pretty fluid, has that recovery speed. Off coverage, I question a little bit of his vision and his instincts, but you have a tremendous athlete for Greg Williams to develop there with that Jets defense.
Mel, we have our first punter off the board. Going to the Jets, Braden Mann out of A&M. I love punter hype videos.
I do too, Trey. I'll tell you, Joe's with Charlton, South Carolina, Alex Petch and Bucknell. There's a lot of punters in this draft that are going to be having an opportunity in the NFL. He was certainly the best. Big-time leg strength. I remember Shane Leckler when he came out of Texas A&M as a 5th-round pick to the Raiders. They had drafted Sebastian Janikowski, kicker, in the 1st round that same year. Braden Mann, like Shane Leckler, should have a long career in the NFL. Been consistent, and he can boom it. Believe me, Leckler was exactly that same way, and I think Braden Mann can be that type of punter, Pro Bowl caliber punter in the NFL.
Well, if you're drafting him, that's exactly what you want him to do.